So as soon as you get more than one person together, you've got a group, you've got a team, you've got relationships. And when you have an associate practice, this really starts to show through. So the bigger your practice, more people involved, the more ideas people have individually, and therefore the more complexity and possibly the more areas for conflict, or the more areas for disagreement, or the more areas where people go off with their own agendas. So one of the things that is evident here is that there's a lack of seeing off the same song sheet, that the team are not pulling as one, the team are not able to coordinate efforts for the good of all, and there tends to be fragmentation. So, within an associate practice, this can become evident, and it's very useful to be aware of it and to be able to deal with it, because the difference that this makes is massive. It gives more choice for the individuals. It gives an ability of individuals to express themselves at a higher level. And you will benefit by the scale. You will benefit by not having to be constantly whipping people, getting people to do things, making sure that everything's done, being the policeman, being the overseer, being the CEO. You don't have to do that if you've got some leverage in the system, which allows people to pull together in a harmonious way. One of our clients who had several practices. So he had a multi practice model, and 6 chiropractors involved, and Phil's his name, and he was trying to run the place as everyone being the mini me. He was trying to make sure that everyone did exactly what he did, and he couldn't be at all places at all times. And so it was problematic. It just didn't really gel. People were doing their own thing and creating their own brand within the brand, and it was just not cohesive. And so we did some work with him on the statement of purpose and getting clear on the values that this business stood for and what it was that this brand that had already got in place meant. So when we connected the values of the business back to the brand, and he was able to communicate that, firstly absorb it himself and then communicate it to the team, then what happened is that these people started to pull together. Their skills start to become harmonious. They start to share their knowledge and their expertise between the different practices. The volume and the service of the practices is increased, and his time and energy in coordinating this group of practices then diminished as well. So, and with that, obviously, the returns increased to very substantial levels, way above what they had been before. So, there's an energy that happens when a group of people sing from the same song sheet. And maybe we could just look at this in terms of a graphic here. So this is the model that we use in many areas of the Quest process, and it's called the innate model. Whoops. And if you want to do, there's a quiz that will give you more detail on how you do the innate model. If you go to theinnatemodel.com, that is available for you to do, and it has relevance to the way you run your business, to the way you do your practice, and to the way particularly associate practices run, or any practice with a number of different individuals in it. So here we have this model, which has the 4 areas of attraction, nurture, delivery, and expansion, and there are 4 brain quadrants, and there are 4 functions of a well-functioning human being. The reference that I made just before was to the song, and the song is a thing that we do. We'll just call it the song. But it's around a certain verse, a certain range of musical notes, a certain tempo, cadence, and volume, and pauses, and so forth. So, in other words, a song becomes compelling. A song is recognizable. A song is something that others will either aspire to, join in with, want to emulate, or not. So you call out your people with your song. You call out the group that you're supporting, and that have you on board as part of their life with the song that you sing. So collectively, we get together and make the song. This is a purpose statement. This is getting the choir, if you like, together, and this is allowing us then to resonate at a certain level. Now, immediately when people take up the song, as was evidenced by Phil's example there, there's less a need for the owner, the leader, the person who drives the show, right? So it has maybe the highest, greatest stake here. So this is the song then that becomes the reason why you do what you do in your business, in your practice. Now, that song then needs to have, if you like, this sort of in an organizational sense, that to the degree that you have organization underneath, you can have order on top. And order, it nurtures people. Order allows people to know that they're in the right place and that they can perform their roles. So the roles of the team are performed in accordance with the song. And so, this then allows the team to be singing the same song, off the same song sheet, and all contributing their different roles. So with the different roles in play then, they can take responsibility for those roles. And so they become responsible. They become responsible for what they do. They don't need to be overseen. They don't need to be told what to do, because everyone has their own superpower. So superpowers are unique to the individual. And that has to do with the degree of strength that we have neurologically within each of these quadrants. Whatever that happens to be, we all have different combinations of that. These are the superpowers that we bring to a practice. These are the things that we bring to the office that allow us to be a great contributor, even though it may be very, very different to everyone else there. And so what this does then is that this gives us a state of what we call comparation. Now, comparation then is a combination of competition and cooperation. And it seems paradoxical, but when we have a state of singing off the same song sheet, when we have a state of all recognizing and respecting each other's roles and each other's responsibilities, then we can cooperate and we can compete. And so competition is a healthy component of a dynamic system. It's a vitalistic system that is willing to tolerate competition. And at the same time, cooperation, which might seem to be the opposite, that it works in synergy, it works in harmony within this context. So the benefits of this then come down to the fact that we get this internal mentoring taking place. We have a harmonious system that doesn't rely on one individual to drive it. So the owner can step back and the system takes over. It smooths out the dips, because there's checks and balances all the way along. There's cooperation that takes place, and it becomes creative because we allow tension to exist, and so we keep stretching it. And as cooperation evolves, then that changes the song. It increases the vibration, the effectiveness of the song, and so we get a richer song that comes as a result of that, and we get a refining of the order and the organization. Then we get a greater responsibility, and the superpowers come to the surface even more because we allow for that individuality, and that then obviously feeds back into cooperation. So that's the name of the game when it comes to designing an associate practice that really rocks and frees you up to do the things that are at a higher level of energy and a higher level of your capabilities and your superpowers as the owner. So if this makes sense to you, If this is something that you would love to have some more insight into, if you'd like to have some assistance with, then feel free to just put associate in the comments area below. Or if you want to private message me and just send me a note saying associate, I'll get back with you and engage, and we can have a chat about how we can help you go to the next level of expressing your superpower within the context of your associate practice as it grows and develops and evolves.